It's a Crisis, a podcast that looks at scandals, disasters, and reputational threats and how your brand can avoid falling victim to them. I'm Andrea Obston. I've been a crisis communications manager for over 4 decades, and I'm here to help you survive and ultimately thrive after a crisis. Okay, let's jump into, and now it's a crisis. Let me take you to the Crisis Command Center of Bouncing Baby Car Seats. It's been 2 weeks since a broken-hearted mom went on social media with a video about the injuries her 4-year-old suffered in a car accident. He was secured in your company's latest car seat. She blamed his injuries on a failure of the car seat and warned parents not to use the product. As the director of communications, you and your staff have watched in horror as your company is pummeled it online and in legacy media. The video's hashtag dangerous bouncing baby car seat has been trending globally. You've done what you can to acknowledge the issue, demonstrate concern, and announce a recall. Traffic to the landing page for the crisis is finally leveled off, and the consumer hotline is no longer on fire. Things seem to be calming down. Your founder wants to forget the whole thing and get back to business as usual. Your team is exhausted, but pleased that the initial negative posts are no longer dominating online conversation. Everyone wants to move on. Time to get back to business as usual, right? Wrong. Just because you lived through the initial firestorm, there are still embers smoldering right below the surface. Those embers represent a lingering distrust of your brand that could ultimately do more damage than what your company has just lived through. It is not time to move on. In fact, you've only just begun. Hi, I'm Andrea Obston, a veteran crisis communications manager. Welcome to the 3rd episode of And Now It's a Crisis. In our first 2 episodes, we talked about the pitfalls of responding to a crisis too quickly or not fast enough. In this episode, we'll talk about rebuilding consumer trust in the aftermath of a crisis. Stay with us after the break for practical ways to move back into your customers' good graces. This podcast is brought to you by Frida's. Step into their distinctive handmade embroidered shoes, designed right here in Connecticut. Every one-of-a-kind pair is handcrafted by master textile artists in Mexico. Their distinctive shoes are available in unisex sizes, ranging from 6 to 13. I have 2 pairs, and every time I wear them, I have to tell you, I get compliments. Check out fridas.com for their end-of-summer sale and enjoy free shipping. That is FREEDAZZ.com. Wear art, get noticed, and step out in style with Frida's. And now let's get back to our bouncing baby crisis. Welcome back. I'm Andrea Obston. I've been a crisis communications consultant and reputation manager for over 4 decades. I also teach crisis communication, among other subjects, at Quinnipiac University in Hamden, Connecticut. Welcome to the 3rd podcast in our series, And Now It's a Crisis. I'll be your host through the unpredictable world of crisis communications, how to protect your company's reputation before, during, and after it hits a pothole. Let's get back to the beginning of the crisis we talked about before the break. A mom's emotional video about the tragic failure of your company's car seat shone a spotlight on the failure of your company's newest product. The reactions could spell the end of your company, Bouncing Baby. It goes against everything your brand has promised since it began in 2015. Your charismatic president, known affectionately as Mama Cass, catapulted the company into the public's consciousness with her appearance on Shark Tank. The sharks loved the fact that her product had safety features that went beyond current standards. They saw it as solving a pain point for parents who want to protect their kids as they grow. Cass's story of losing her 4-year-old in a freak car accident put a face on the need for a seat that adapts as a child grows. The company's brand promise of safety, reliability, and adaptability resonated with parents. Sales have been climbing steadily by 10% every year since Cass's appearance on Shark Tank. But the viral video about the company's failure could destroy consumer faith and ultimately sink the company. It's time to rebuild trust and demonstrate to worried parents that you are still worthy of their confidence. Here are the 10 steps you'll need to take. 1. Embrace full transparency and take responsibility. 2. Talk about lessons learned and how you put them into action. 3. Communicate recalls, refunds, and remedies clearly. 4. Engage third-party experts to review your changes. 5. Showcase improvements and innovations. 6. Humanize your response. 7. Invest in community outreach. 8. Monitor sentiment and respond. 9. Establish ongoing accountability. And 10. Create and communicate successes. Let's go a little deeper into each of these steps. 1. Embrace full transparency and take responsibility. Here's where you want to demonstrate concern, compassion, and competency. Make sure you show empathy for worried parents and acknowledge the betrayal of their trust. Avoid minimizing the problem and shifting blame. Put out personal, unscripted, intimate conversations with Mama Cass. Publicly release the results of internal and independent engineering audits that pinpoint why the seat failed. Then create an FAQ addressing parents' concerns and common questions. Number 2, talk about lessons learned and how you put them into action. Share a detailed, plain language account of what happened, why it happened, how you discovered it. Avoid jargon and defensiveness. Explain the lessons you learned from your investigation and what you've changed to make sure the issue won't happen again. As a sidebar, I prefer to avoid the use of the word promise. You can't promise it won't happen again. It doesn't sound authentic. You can only say what you did to prevent it. Number 3, communicate recalls, refunds, and remedies clearly. Announce a voluntary recall of all affected car seats and offer expedited refunds and/or replacements, whichever the parents prefer. Set up a landing page on your site to make it easy to find out all about the crisis and to make it easy for them to get their refund or replacement. Remind them not to donate or give the seats to anyone else. Continue to staff your dedicated consumer hotline and make sure that you have multi-language support. Number 4, engage third-party experts to review your changes. Bring in independent safety labs and child safety advocates to review and overhaul your design, testing, and manufacturing protocols. Publish third-party safety findings and invite experts to engage with the consumer community, maybe in live streams or websites and Q&A sessions. Reach out to pediatricians with paper mailings about the nature of the failure and what parents can do to get replacements. You should know that doctors don't look at their emails. This is my reasoning on the paper communications. Send them posters that include those instructions and a QR code for easy access to the information. Number 5, showcase improvements and innovations. You want to document the whole redesign process for the seat. Include new features, independent tests and certifications. Share your projects transparently. You might use video diaries or blog updates or social media and behind-the-scenes looks at your safety measures. Host live stream crash tests of prototypes of the new seat. Number 6, you want to humanize your response. Leverage Mama Cass's story. Have her speak authentically on a video or in a blog. Let her share her thoughts on what she learned and what the company is doing different now. Feature real parents, engineers, and advocates in communications and social media posts on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and TikTok. Participate in forums for parents. Reach out to influencers in this space as well as mommy bloggers. Number 7, invest in community outreach. Partner with parent groups, hospitals, child safety organizations, and schools to conduct educational seminars and car seat safety checks. Sponsor research and advocacy to improve child passenger safety everywhere, beyond your own products. 8, you still want to monitor sentiment and respond. You want to use social listening tools, surveys, and direct outreach to stay informed about what your customers are feeling. You want to rapidly and sincerely respond to any negative feedback and positive feedback or misinformation. 9, establish ongoing accountability. Create a consumer advocacy panel that includes parents and safety experts. Give them real input on product design and communications. Commit to annual independent audits and public reporting of safety metrics for all of your future products. Number 10, now is the time to celebrate and communicate successes. As the redesign of the car seat passes rigorous tests, document and publicize the results. Share testimonials from parents who feel confident and safe with your new seats. Monitor sentiment and respond to all posts. Request Google reviews of the redesigned car seat. The bottom line is this: once the initial crisis has been contained, it's not over. You are at the beginning of the process to rebuild trust. You must take a strategic, transparent, and sustained approach to regaining the confidence that was shattered during the crisis. People can and will forgive if you demonstrate the humility to learn from a crisis and take actions to prevent another one. Thank you for joining us for the 3rd episode of And Now It's a Crisis. Please subscribe, follow, and rate And Now It's a Crisis on YouTube, Spotify, and all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening to And Now It's a Crisis.